welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to cover propagation. So you're going to want to grab a pair of scissors. These ones are pretty clean and pretty sharp, so you're going to want to do the same. If they're pretty dirty, you might pass on infections. The next thing you want to grab is a vessel for the water and the cuttings you're going to get. This is just like a random vessel that I got from my boyfriend's mom, and then obviously I'm putting water in it. If you put too much, just dump it out. Conveniently enough, I had a plant, sitting right next to me. So a little bit more. This plant that I'm grabbing here is another version of a pothos. So I actually propagated this a couple months ago, but it's not doing too much because I did it in the winter time, and the vessel it's in is actually an old candle holder, like it held a candle, like a candle was in it. So we don't discriminate against the vessels you're using. The vessels over here for my other pothos, or actually I think this was a curry jar, but it might have been for olives, I'm not entirely sure. And this one was 100% olives because I actually just switched it because I've been in these jars for probably like 3 months now. And this is my snake plant. It's not doing too much either. You can see it's like calloused over, but this one I am propagating in soil. I did originally propagate it in water, but they have small roots and it was getting kind of weird, so I just grabbed some rooting hormone, dipped it in the rooting powder, and then shoved it in some soil, and then that's pretty much it. I'm actually really glad that I did this because I left my water propagated version of this plant at my office when we first went to quarantine in New York, and it's still there, and we've been in quarantine for over 40 days, so I'm pretty sure that plant isn't going to make it. So when you're using the rooting powder, you can see here I'm actually just dipping the node in the powder. I wouldn't recommend using this for water propagation because it doesn't really do anything, but for soil propagation it 100% makes a difference. From my experience, don't dump the used powder back into the container because it can contaminate the rest of the rooting hormone, and then that's it. So I made a little bit of a mess, but that's okay because you can just wipe it away. Don't eat this. It's also toxic to dogs, so don't let them eat it either. You can see that I do not have Jasper near me today. So let me show you what a node is so that you know what to look for. That was not a no joke, but yeah, so it just happened. So this is a node. For a pothos, wherever the leaf comes out, there's usually a node right underneath it. I haven't come encountered with any pothos that doesn't have a node after it sprouts a leaf. And you're going to want to cut it about 1 centimeter or 2 below where the node is. Not too close, but not too far away, because that will eventually start to die and rot. So if it's too close, it won't root because it won't give it enough a base. And if it's too far, then you'll just have like a rotting piece of stem in the water. So I like to do 2 nodes per propagation just because I feel like my plant does a little bit better when I go to plant it. So I'm not planting the leaves that are on the original stem that I cut off, and then you just break off the leaf that I did, which I already went past, so you just break it off. And then you can see here I actually got this as a single stem pothos, and I've just been propagating it over and over again until I can just repot them in there. This was actually one of the most recent propagations. This is actually my office plant too. I did bring this one home with me because it needs to be watered once a week. This is a monstera cutting. You can see that the node is way more defined, so it'd be a lot easier for you to see where you need to cut it off. As you can see, this I actually already did cut off, and now it's growing 2 leaves off of the node rather than just 1. And that's how you propagate. If you do have questions, just feel free to ask. There are some plants you can't propagate in this method, so just let us know.